Welcome back to the channel, Gearheads. Today, we're taking a trip back to the neon-soaked, flannel-filled 1990s, an era of wild innovation, futuristic designs, and cars that promised everything, but delivered disaster. Because for every Toyota Supra or Acura NSX that defined the decade, there was a lemon waiting to ruin your day. So buckle up, because we're counting down the top 10 worst cars of the 1990s, the ones that broke down, burned out, or just plain embarrassed their owners. Number 10 to 1991 Saturn SL, GM's. When GM launched Saturn, it was supposed to be a new kind of car company, friendly, innovative, and built to fight the Japanese imports head-on. The 1991 Saturn SL debuted with quirky, no-haggle, pricing and lightweight plastic body panels that resisted rust. Sounds great, right? Well, not so fast. Owners soon discovered that Saturn's space-age engineering came with earthly reliability problems, electrical failures, alternators that quit early, and head gaskets that blew like clockwork. Even worse, oil consumption was so bad that some owners joked the engine drank more oil than gas. The Saturn SL was meant to save GM's reputation. Instead, it became the symbol of how far behind they'd fallen. Number 9 to 1994 Ford Aspire. Next up, the Ford Aspire, and oh, the irony in that name. Built in Korea and based on Mazda parts, the Aspire offered dual airbags, a safety first for its class. But that's where the compliments end. Its tiny 1.3-liter engine made just 63 horsepower. With the air conditioning on, it could barely move itself. Magazine testers described full-throttle acceleration as loud noise, no motion. Even going uphill required patience, and possibly prayer. Sure, it was cheap and efficient, but the Aspire proved one thing: safety doesn't matter much if you can't get out of your own way. Number 8 to 1995 Chevrolet Cavalier. By 1995, GM's Chevrolet Cavalier had become the poster child for just good enough. It wasn't exciting, it wasn't reliable, and it wasn't well built, it just existed. Under the hood, you got either a 2.2-liter four-cylinder or a slightly beefier 2.4-liter in the sportier trims. But neither helped when the car spent more time in the shop than on the road. Owners complained of transmission lockups, overheating, failing turn signals, and leaking head gaskets. It was GM's idea of a youthful, sporty compact. But in reality, it was just a plastic box of problems. Number 7 to 1996 Ford Taurus. In the early 90s, the Ford Taurus was a superstar, the best-selling car in America. But then came 1996. Ford's redesign replaced everything boxy with ovals. Everywhere. The windows, the dash vents, the badges, even the steering wheel looked like a fried egg. Buyers hated it. Sales tanked. And underneath the funky looks were bigger problems: cost-cutting, rattling interiors, and spotty reliability. The Taurus went from family favorite to design disaster overnight. Number 6 to 1990 Yugo GV. If you grew up in the 90s, you already know the Yugo GV wasn't just bad, it was legendary. This tiny import from Yugoslavia was built on ancient Fiat designs and powered by a 1.1-liter engine that wheezed out 55 horsepower. The interior looked like it was assembled during a power outage. Consumer Reports called the transmission the worst we've encountered in years. And if you forgot to change the timing belt on time, the entire engine would self-destruct. The Yugo wasn't just cheap, it was the definition of disposable. Number 5 to 1992 Cadillac Allante. Imagine spending $50,000 in the early 90s, double the price of a Corvette, on a car that couldn't even keep rain out of the cabin. That was the Cadillac Allante. GM wanted to challenge Mercedes and Jaguar with Italian styling by Pininfarina, shipped from Italy to Detroit for assembly. The logistics alone were insane. But all that effort couldn't save it from constant electrical gremlins, leaky convertible tops, and performance that couldn't justify the price. The Allante was luxury without the logic, a fashion show on 4 flat tires. Number 4 to 1991 Geo Metro Convertible, cute, but terrifying. The Geo Metro Convertible was supposed to make economy cars fun. Instead, it made driving feel like an extreme sport. With a 1.0-liter, 3-cylinder engine and just 55 horsepower, it was barely faster than a riding mower. On the highway, every gust of wind was a fight for your life. If a semi-truck passed you, you prayed it didn't take you with it. It was adorable, sure, but also dangerously underpowered for modern traffic. Number 3 to 1995 Land Rover Discovery. The Land Rover Discovery looked rugged, sounded tough, and could climb a mountain, when it wasn't broken. Its British electrical system was infamous. Window motors, sunroofs, lights, and even gauges failed randomly. The cooling system leaked, the suspension wore out early, and rust appeared faster than the check engine light. It was great for adventuring, if your adventure was to the mechanic. Number 2 to 1996 Pontiac Grand AM. The 1996 Pontiac Grand AM promised driving excitement. What it delivered was a symphony of rattles, leaks, and dashboard cracks. Its engines, the 2.4L Quad 4 and 3.1L V6, were both unreliable nightmares. Intake gaskets leaked, ignition switches caught fire, and transmissions failed early. By the time GM recalled them, the damage to Pontiac's reputation was already done. This was sporty, in name only, a cheap suit pretending to be a race car. Number 1 to 1994 Dodge Viper RT/10. Now, don't get me wrong, the 1994 Dodge Viper RT/10 is an icon. A legend. A poster on every teenage boy's wall. But as an actual car? It was brutal. No traction control. No ABS. No airbags. Not even real windows. The side exhausts could burn your legs. The interior felt like a go-kart's. The Viper wasn't a car you drove, it was a car you survived. As one reviewer put it, it's less of a car, and more of an event. An unforgettable, terrifying, slightly smoky event. And that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 worst cars of the 1990s. From electrical nightmares to design disasters, these cars remind us that innovation can go very, very wrong. Which one do you think deserves the crown as the absolute worst? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you survived the 90s driving one of these. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep your wheels spinning, and your check engine light off.